This video will show you how to shade Venn diagrams. The first example we'll do is A intersect B. Now remember, another way of thinking about this is A and B. So in the three Venn diagram examples below, what we'll do is we'll just step it through one piece at a time. So first of all we'll shade A, and we'll do B, and finally we'll end up with A intersect B. So I'll bring up my highlighter. Let's do it in orange. And so the first thing I'll do is highlight A. Well, that's the intersection plus A only. So this is all the elements in A. Now we'll go down and do B. So that includes the shared elements with A and also B. Now the way the intersection works is it basically looks at these two diagrams here and says, well, what are the common elements? Do they have anything in common? Well, it's not A only, because that's not in common. The intersection is both shaded and B is not in common. So basically what we're going to do is only shade the elements that appear in A and B. So that's how the intersection works. That's why the intersection is that area there. Okay, let's undo this. And now we'll go back to my felt pen, and we won't do intersection again because we just did that. We'll do the union this time. Okay, so again we'll do the same thing. We'll just step it through, look at A, B, and A union B. Alright, so again I'll highlight all of A. Now I'm going to highlight all of B. And the union works a little bit different because remember, union is basically A or B, elements that appear in either A or B. So this final one that we highlight, we look at elements that appear in A. So it is these elements here. It appears in both of them. The intersection appears in both of them, so we can highlight that as well. And B appears in this one, so we highlight that as well. And that then means that basically all of it will be highlighted. Not a great job of highlighting there, but you get my drift. So that's the A union B. Alright, start undoing that. I'll only need one Venn diagram to do this next example. This is A complement. This basically is not A. Now how do we highlight that? Well, this is A here, so not A will include the elements in B only, but it'll also include all of this area outside the Venn diagrams, the elements that aren't in either A or B. So that's all of those elements there. So we just basically highlight everything not including A. Alright, let's get to the business end of this. This time what we'll do is we'll do A intersect not B. Okay, so we'll divide it up. A, not B, and then finally we'll look at the things that they have in common to produce the A intersect not B. Alright, so here goes the highlighting. So the first thing I'll do is highlight A, no problems. Now I'm going to do not B. Okay, so that includes A and all of this area outside here. Okay, so now we look at what do they have in common. Okay, so they've got this. This area here is in common. Okay, so we can see that A is shaded here, the intersection is shaded, the intersection isn't shaded here, but we've got these two areas here that they both have in common, so we can shade that. And because the outside is shaded in this and not in this, we can't actually shade it. So this is basically our answer. This is A intersect, not B. And another way of thinking about this is A only. So that's what it produces, shading A only. All right, so if we did not A intersect B, what we're presuming that this means is that we're shading B only, because the reverse, which was A intersect B not B, was A only. Okay, so this one will be not A intersect B, will be B only. So we just can presume that it will be only this one shaded. Okay, so that's why, by definition then, this is B only. Okay, so the last one we'll do is not A intersect not B. Okay, so this one's a little bit tougher to think about, and this is why sometimes you'll need to maybe step it through and shade a couple of different Venn diagrams just to make sure that you've got it clear in your head what not A and not B, or not A intersect not B is. So let's do not A first of all. So that's this one here and the outside region. Okay, so that's not A. Now let's do not B. So that's everything in A and all the elements that appear outside both of them. Okay, so because it's intersection now, we look for the common elements. So certainly A only is not in common, the intersection is not in common, B is not in common. The only shaded area that's in common is this outer area. Both of them have got the outer area shaded. So what that basically means, if we're shading A, not A intersect not B, it's all the elements that are out here. And that's why this one is known as neither A nor B. So that's the, I suppose, English translation of that. Not A intersect not B is neither A nor B. It's neither A nor B. It's all of these elements that appear outside here. So that's an introduction to shading Venn diagrams. Sometimes it's handy to step each one through three different Venn diagrams just to see what the finished product will be.